good afternoon, good morning, no matter what time it is. There's always time to talk about leadership and folks doing amazing work trying to promote the next generation of leaders. I'm honored to be joined by someone that I followed for quite a while and I've learned a lot, even virtually from. I'm Dr. Let. I'm honored to introduce Julia. Now, listen, Ohio, I'm a little bit biased. Actually, I'm a lot biased. We produce the best talent. Julia is doing that day in and day out. Without further ado, Julia, please introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, Dr. Let, for that really amazing introduction. I'm Julia Kasper. I am a program manager here at Leadership Starr County, which is a department of the Canton Regional Chamber of Commerce. In my current role as program manager, I help research, design, and facilitate leadership development programs for everyone from students to C-suite executives. And a lot of my work now currently sits at the intersection of youth empowerment, communications, storytelling, and leadership, all of things that are in my wheelhouse and that I love to do. And really before starting this current role, I was a marketing and communications professional and doing some public relations work as well. And I'm also the founder of nonprofit Girl Spark. It's a Philadelphia-based nonprofit where we focus on empowering girls for their better social, emotional, and overall well-being, as well as creating a supportive community where they can really learn from seasoned women how to overcome some of these issues and get some really good input. Thank you, Dr. Let, for having me today. I really appreciate getting the chance to talk about my leadership in the community in Stark County and Northeast Ohio as a whole.
Now, disclaimer, Julia and I did not rehearse this before meeting, but great minds think alike. So this interview feels as though it's rehearsed, but it's just great minds when we think about leadership. Now, Julia, throughout your career, you've been in professions, as you just stated, that focus on empowerment, storytelling, leadership development. What's your motivation for giving back through relational mentoring?
So to me, defining relational mentoring is super important. So unlike traditional top-down approaches to mentoring, which is a little bit transactional, I feel, the relational mentoring experience between mentor and mentee is about personal growth. It's about learning and it's about psychological support. For me, mentoring is really personal because I know the impact it can have when someone believes in you before you fully believe in yourself. And that person for me was my mom growing up. And I really want to be able to give that back. And through Girl Spark and now Leadership Starr County, I've really learned that people grow the best when they feel seen, when they feel supported, and when they feel a little bit challenged as well.
Yes, thank you so much for that. And really shout out to your mother for all the inspiration and all the growth throughout your childhood. Now, you recently wrote about the importance of soft skills. So we're talking about communication, etiquette, teamwork. Tell us about the disconnect that you've seen within your work between what early career professionals are taught in classroom settings and applying those in a real world setting.
Thank you for that question. Foundations of Leadership is the current program that Leadership Starr County is running. And it's a soft skills program for 18 to 30-year-olds to really build those soft skills foundations. And soft skills are the top of mind for me right now because we just finished up with that 6-week program on Monday. We graduated our first cohort, so that was amazing to be a part of that as well. But where the disconnect really happens, I think, is there's a difference between knowing what professionalism is and then practicing it in real time. An example that comes to mind for me is networking, right? It's something that a lot of young professionals are encouraged to do. Any professional is encouraged to network. But in class, students may hear that networking matters. They may have gone to networking events before, but they may have never practiced introducing themselves, their background. They may have never practiced talking about their organization, what they do, who they are, and their mission, asking thoughtful questions or, following up after a conversation. So my philosophy is really that people learn best by doing. And in that program, Foundations of Leadership, that I've had the honor to design and execute, we focused on the real world practice of these soft skills, like communication, like email writing. Public speaking is also a big part of the program. And while often that these skills are soft skills, I argue that they're sort of like the survival skills that you need in
Yes.
a work environment. They affect how people build trust. They affect how people handle conflict. And ultimately, I think that they are sort of the teller of who really grows into those leadership roles.
Yes, absolutely. Throughout all of my interviews, I've always wanted to promote to the audience,
Mhm.
really hone in on soft skills, because building those relationships organically in ways where you can grow, you can build a network, but it doesn't feel transactional. That is why this interview is so powerful. Now, Julia, we are going to publicly give you your flowers. You somewhat touched on your nonprofit. And so this goes based on that a bit. As an inspiration to so many women, when did you realize you could have such an amazing impact on others?
Well, first off, thank you so much, Dr. Lai. I really appreciate those kind words. And when I started realizing I had an impact was probably through Girl Spark. I started Girl Spark as a junior in high school because I really wanted to create a space where girls could talk honestly about the things impacting them and feel empowered by the women leaders around them. And during this time, high school is hard, right? For any young kid. For me in particular, I was struggling with my mental health. So that was sort of the catalyst of Girl Spark and jumping off of that point. And when we first started, we had our main event, which is our Girl Spark Summit, an annual summit for middle school and high school girls, focused on creating their better well-being. And over time, I realized that Girl Spark was really more than that. It was creating confidence for people. It was creating community for people and creating connection. So when girls would come up to me after a Girl Spark workshop, in-person workshop, and say, oh, this was really great, I'm going to tell my friends about this. Or if they came to me with there's something that they're struggling with, whether that be, parents getting divorced or getting sexually assaulted, my whole goal is to help girls feel less alone and more confident, and also inspired to lead. So I think in those tiny moments is really where I understood my impact.
Wow, that is absolutely incredible. And to add to that, this interview, I can guarantee someone will need this message and want to reach out to you. For anyone watching this, I will put Julia's contact information in the description. So just keep watching. Now, Julia, you participate in a program that teaches high school students to turn an idea into a real business. What are some of the mistakes people make when starting a business?
I think one of the main mistakes that people make is waiting until everything is perfect before deciding to jump off. I
Yes.
was taught this by my mom, again, I'm going to bring her up, is sort of the fail fast mentality of, if you're going to try something, if you're going to fail, do it fast, right? So that you can try to build yourself back up, move on to the next thing. And this program I participated in, it's called the Young Entrepreneurs Academy. It's a national program. So wherever you are in the world watching this, and if you are a high school student and with a business idea, the Young Entrepreneurs Academy has a place for you. And when I participated in that program and pitched Girl Spark, another thing that I want to hit home on is that you really have to be able to clearly explain your mission, your vision, your values, your audience, and really why people should care. So having all of those things stored in your brain, rehearsed, practiced, but practice to the point where you sound natural, and really having that personal piece of why you care in it just makes all the difference.
Wow. Now, follow up to that is, how can people, you touched on this, but how can they overcome those mistakes?
Mm-hmm. So with that sort of fail fast mentality, I really think that Nike said it best with the just do it. Like, sometimes the hardest part is just starting the thing, just signing up for the program, just making the website, just buying the domain name, getting the Instagram handles and social media, writing the business plan. So I think the best thing that you can do when you're starting a business is to surround yourself with people who support you, people that know more than you do, like mentors, advisors, and people that support you, but also can challenge you. And another big part of that is feedback. Be willing to take feedback, be willing to ask questions, and then sort of adjust and course correct as needed.
Wow. Now, listen, y'all. it somewhat sounds like Julia was giving me my flowers because I've just started, right? I had an idea, I had a vision. I wanted to highlight real people making real impacts within
Mhm.
their community. And I would think it through and think it through and think it through. And it felt so hard to start. And then I opened my laptop, press record, and here we are. I'm interviewing the amazing Julia Kasper. So, with that, for anyone inspired by this interview, Julia, how can they connect with you?
So the best way to connect with me is on LinkedIn. So you can search Julia Kasper on LinkedIn, or you can email me here at Leadership Star County. My email is julia@leadershipstarcounty.org. And if you're a Star County professional, young professional who's passionate about helping students, helping young professionals grow into their roles, I would love to be able to connect with you, love to get you involved in Leadership Star County. And once again, I'm always open for conversations around mentorship, program development, storytelling, and creating spaces where people feel like they belong.
Now, Julia, to summarize all of this amazing and insightful information for the viewers, what takeaways from this interview should viewers leave with?
So more than anything, I really feel that I want people to leave with is a sense of inspiration, getting inspired to be involved in your community in some way. That you don't have to be a higher up executive or have the perfect title or know your plan to make an impact. Sometimes it starts with you showing up, right? Just do it. Volunteering, mentoring someone, attending a community event. I think really leadership for me is how we choose to use our voice and our experiences and our knowledge and our relationships to help and support others. So more than anything, I hope that people walk away knowing that they have something meaningful to contribute and feel inspired to do so.
Wow, incredibly insightful. And the recurring theme throughout all of my interviews: leadership, leadership development, mentorship, the importance of networking, really to propel one from where they are to where they want to go. I'm Dr. Let. This is I'm Dr. Let, the podcast. Julia, it has truly been an honor. I cannot thank you enough for taking time out of your extremely busy day to talk with me and anyone out there.
Thank you so much, Dr. Let. It was a pleasure being on your program and getting to speak to all of your wonderful followers and community leaders about a little bit of my life.